So this video is on the chapter 6, classwork number 14, which was elimination practice, that we are starting on block number 1. This is meant for extra guidance for those who need the help. I want everyone to try these problems and then again, come back to this. If you're stuck on a particular problem, fast forward to the section you need. So when we're dealing with these systems of equations and they're in standard form where X and our Y are on the same side, I'm going to use what we call elimination method. And so for that, what we're going to do is we are either going to try to eliminate our X's or our Y's. And what our goal is to try to get the same number in front of either X's or Y's, but one of them be positive, one of them be negative, so I can combine and have them cancel. Now my X's, I can't multiply one of the equations by something. I'd have to multiply both. I'd have to try to get a 56 in front of both of these X's, one of them being a positive 56, one of them being a negative. If I look at my Y's, I have a 2Y and a 2Y. If I add these together, I'm going to get a 4Y. Nothing's going to cancel out, but I can multiply one of these equations by a negative and try to have my Y's cancel out. So I am going to multiply this top equation by a -1. And I'm going to get a -7x minus 2y is equal to a -24. My second equation, I'm keeping as is, 8x plus 2y is equal to 30. I'm going to add these two equations together. And what's going to happen now is my y's are going to cancel out because I'm going to have a positive and a negative. Okay. So when I combine these, I'm going to get x, my y's cancel out, is equal to 6. Then I'm going to put this into either equation. I'm going to put it into the top equation. So 7x plus 2y equal 24. So I'm going to have 7 times 6 plus 2y is equal to 24. So I get 42 plus 2y equals 24. I am going to subtract 42 from both sides. And when I subtract 42 from both sides, I get a -18. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 2 and I get a -9. So my point of intersection, my solution is going to be 6, -9. And that's going to be my answer. On number 2, in this case, if I want to try to eliminate my x's, I would be trying to get a 10 and a -10 for my x's. If I want to eliminate my y's, I'd be trying to get a positive and -7y. So I can either multiply the top equation by 7 to get rid of my y's or multiply the top equation by -2. So it doesn't matter which one. I'm going to multiply my top equation by a -2. So I'm going to get a -10x minus 2y is equal to -18. My second equation I'm going to keep as a 10x minus 7y is equal to a -18. I'm going to add these two equations together. And what's going to happen is my x's are going to cancel out here. And my y's, I get a -2y plus a -7y, which is a -9y, is equal to a -36. I divide by a -9, and I get y is equal to 4. I am going to put it into the top equation, 5x plus y, which is 4, is equal to 9. So I get 5x, and when I subtract 4 from both sides, I get 5x equals 5. So x equals 1. So my answer is going to be 1, 4. That is the point of intersection. On number 3, So I can either try to get rid of my x's, okay, which I have an x and a negative 4x. I'd be trying to get 4s in front of both of them. Or I can get rid of my y's by trying to get 3 and a 9 in front of both of them. I think I'm going to multiply the second equation by a 3. So that's going to give me a 3x minus 9y is equal to a negative 18. My top equation is going to stay as a negative 4x plus 9y is equal to 9. We add these up. I get a negative x, my y's cancel out, is equal to negative 9. And I'm going to divide by a negative 1 to get a positive x is equal to 9. And I'm going to plug it into either equation. Let's say I plug it into the bottom one. So x minus 3y equals negative 6. So I get 9 minus 3y equals negative 6. I'm going to minus 9 from both sides. And when I do, I get a negative 3y is equal to negative 15. Divide by negative 3. And I get y is equal to 5. So my point of intersection, my solution is 9, 5. So on our next problem, on number 4, I am either going to try to eliminate my x's by trying to get 9 and negative 9, or my y's, I'd have to get a 35 and a negative 35 here. That's a little more effort. So I'm going to try to get rid of my x's by multiplying the top by a negative 3. The reason I'm going to multiply the top by a negative 3 is because I need a positive 9x and a negative 9x, and I already have a negative below. So this is going to be a positive 9x minus 21y is equal to positive 48. And then my bottom equation is going to stay negative 9x plus 5y equals 16. I'm going to add that up. And I get negative 16y is equal to 64. And when I divide by a negative 16, I get y is equal to negative 4. So let's say I put that into the top equation. I have negative 3x plus 7 times my y, which is going to be a negative 4, equals negative 16. Negative 3x minus 28 equals a negative 16. I'm going to add 28 to both sides. And when I do, I end up with a negative 3x is equal to, and here I end up getting a positive 12. I'm going to divide by a negative 3, and I get x is equal to negative 4. So my point of intersection is negative 4, comma, negative 4. On number 5, in this case, I'm either going to try to get a 14 and a negative 14 in front of my x's, or a 3 and a negative 3 in front of my y's. So I think I am going to multiply the top equation by a negative 3, and I'm going to get a 21x minus 3y is equal to, and I'm going to end up getting a positive 57. My second equation I'm going to keep, negative 2x plus 3y is equal to a negative 19. I add these together. I get a 19x my y's are going to, my y's are going to cancel. And I end up, when I take 57 minus 19, I get a 38. Divide both sides by 19. And I get x is equal to 2. And I'm going to put into the top one, negative 7 times x, which is 2, plus y equals a negative 19. So negative 14 plus y equals negative 19. I'm going to add 14. I get y is equal to negative 5. So I get 2 comma negative 5. On 6, either I'm going to try to get a 4 and a negative 4 here, or a 15 and a negative 15 here. Doesn't matter. I'm thinking that I might multiply the bottom one by a positive 3. And when I do that, I'm going to get a negative 3x plus 15y is equal to a negative 39. My top equation I'm going to keep. So that's going to be a negative 4x minus 15y equals a negative 17. I'm going to add. I get a negative 7x. My y's cancel out. And my negative 39 minus my negative 17 minus 39 becomes a negative 56. I divide by a negative 7, and I get x is equal to 8. So let's say I do that into the bottom one. Negative x plus 5y equals negative 13. Since that's a negative x, that means make my x opposite. So it's going to become a negative 8 plus 5y equals a negative 13. I'm going to add 8. And I end up with 5y is equal to, and I end up with a negative 5. When I divide by 5, I get a negative 1. So I'm going to have 8 comma negative 1 as my answer. Now, on the word problems. So the state fair is a popular field trip destination. This year, the senior class at high school A and the senior class at high school B both planned trips there. The senior class at high school A rented and filled 8 vans and 8 buses with 240 students. The high school B rented and filled 4 vans, 1 bus with 54 students. Every van had the same number of students in it as did the buses. Find the number of students in each van and in each bus. So I am going to let V equal the number of students in a van. And I'm going to let B equal the number of students in a bus. And I'm going to be writing an equation to represent high school A. So high school A had 8 vans, 8 buses, 240 students. Then I'm going to write one for high school B. High school B had 4 vans, 1 bus, and 54 students. So if I'm trying to write an equation for high school A, I'm going to have 8V, 8 vans times V students in each van, plus 8B, 8 buses plus B students in each bus is equal to 240. I am going to multiply or write out an equation for high school B, which is going to be 4 vans, so 4V, plus 1 bus, so 1B, or just B, is equal to 54. Now, I can do one of two things at this point. I could try to get both, well, I can do a couple of things. I could try to get both of these to be 8 and -8. I can try to get both of these to be 8 and -8. I think what I'm going to do is I notice that I can divide everything up here by an 8 is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to divide by a -8. Just a different way of thinking about it. So again, I'm going to take this equation, everything in this equation, and I am going to divide it. Here, let me just move this for a second. I am going to divide it by 8, by 8, by 8, and not just by 8, by a -8, by a -8, by a -8. And when I do that, I am now going to have -v minus b equals a -30. Okay, I'm just going to move this one more time. Okay, I'll just rewrite this. So I am going to have -v minus b equals -30. I'm going to keep this as it is. 4v plus 1b or just b equals 54. I'm going to add those two equations together. I get 3v is equal to 24. So v is equal to 8. There's 8 students in each van. And then to find my buses, I can take 4 times 8 plus b is equal to 54. So 32 plus b equals 54. And when I subtract 32 from both sides, I end up with 22. So my answer is going to be just fill this. So there are 8 students in each van and 22 students in each bus. And that's your answer. You want to write it in a complete sentence. Now on the next problem, the school that Stefan goes to is selling tickets to a choral performance. On the first day of ticket sales, the school sold 3 senior citizen tickets and 1 child ticket for a total of $38. The school took $52 on the second day by selling 3 senior citizen tickets and 2 child tickets. Find the price of a senior citizen ticket and the price of a child ticket. So I am going to let S equal price of senior ticket, and I'm going to let C equal price of child ticket. And I'm going to be writing an equation for the first day of tickets, which was 3 senior citizens, 1 child for $38. And $52 on the second day for 3 senior citizens and two children. So for my first equation, I'm going to have 3S plus 1C or just C is because it's, yeah, one child ticket. Plus C is equal to $38. I'm going to have that 3S plus 2C is equal to $52. I am going to multiply this top equation by a -1, and I'm going to get -3S minus C equals a -38. Let me just add the second one. So 3S plus 2C equals 52. I add it up. I get C is equal to, and 52 minus 38 is 14. So that's our children tickets. It costs $14. And let's say I put it into the top equation. So 3S plus 14 equals 38. So 3S is equal to, and when I subtract 14, I get 24. So my senior citizen tickets are $8 each. So when we write our sentence, we are going to state that the senior citizen tickets cost $8 each, and the child tickets cost $14 each. Okay, on number 9. You and a friend go to Tacos Galore for lunch. You order 3 soft tacos and 3 burritos, and your total bill is $11.25. Your friend's bill is $10 for 4 soft tacos, 2 burritos. How much do soft tacos cost? How much do burritos cost? Okay, so 3 soft tacos and 3 burritos, and the total was $11.25. $10 for 4 soft tacos and 2 burritos. Okay. Now, when I define my variables, I want them to equal the cost of soft tacos and the cost of burritos. So how about I put T is equal to the cost of soft taco, and B is equal to the cost of burrito. Now, when I write my equation for 3 soft tacos and 3 burritos, so it'll be 3T plus 3B is equal to $11.25. And $10. So 4 soft tacos plus 2 burritos is equal to $10. Now, in this case, unfortunately, I'm going to have to multiply both equations by something. So I either want to get a 12 in front of these, but one positive or negative, or a 6. I think I'm going to work on the 6. So I'm going to multiply this top one by, let's say, 2. So I'm going to get 6T plus 6B is equal to 2250. And let's say I multiply the bottom one by a -3, because we want to make one of these negative. So that's going to be a -12T minus 6B is equal to a -$30. We're going to add these 2 equations together. So I'm going to get a negative 6t. My b's cancel out, is equal to, and when I do 30 minus 2250, I end up with a negative $7.50. I'm going to divide by a negative 6. And when I do, negative 750 divided by negative 6 is $1.25. Then I'm going to take that and put that into either equation. I think I'm going to put it into the bottom one. 4 times 1.25 plus 2b is equal to $10. So 4 times 1.25 is $5 plus 2b is equal to 10. I'm going to minus 5 from both sides, so I get 2b is equal to 5. And I divide by 2, and I get 2.5 or $2.50. So when I write my equation, I'm going to say the cost of a soft taco is $1.25, while the cost of a burrito is $2.50. And that's our answer. Now on the last one, on number 10, Matt and Ming are selling fruit for a school fundraiser. Customers can buy small boxes of oranges and large boxes of oranges. Matt sold 3 small boxes and 4 large boxes for $203. Ming sold 11 small boxes and 11 large boxes for a total of $220. Find the cost of each one of the small boxes and large boxes of oranges. So I am going to have S equal the cost, because that's what I'm trying to find cost, not how many, but the cost. The cost of small box. And I'll put capital L for the cost of a large box. So when I write an equation for 3 small boxes and 14 large boxes, I'm going to write 3S plus 14L is equal to 203. For the second equation, 11 small boxes, so 11S plus 11 large boxes, 11L equals 220. Now, in this case, I am going to have to multiply both equations, unfortunately. I think I'm going to try to get 33 in front of these, one positive, one negative. So I am going to multiply the top equation by an 11. So that, when I do that, is going to give me 33S plus, and 14 times 11 is a 154L is equal to, and 203 times 11 is, move this over a little bit, is 2,233. Now for my bottom one, I am going to multiply that one by a -3. So I get a negative 33S minus 33L. And then 220 times 3, I'm going to get a negative 660. I'm going to add these two equations together. My 33S and my negative 33S cancel out. 154 minus 33L, I get 121L. And 2,233 minus 660 is equal to 1,573. Divide by 121, divide by 121. So when I do that math, I end up with 13 large. And then I'm going to plug this into either one. So say I plug it into 11S plus 11 times 13 is equal to 220. So I get 11S plus, and 11 times 13 is 143. $220 minus 143 gives me a 77. And when I divide both sides by 11, I get that S is equal to 7. And then I am going to put that into, I think, the bottom one. So I'm going to go, let me get myself some space here. So I'm going to go 11 times 7 plus 11L equals 220. So 77 plus 11L equals 220. I'm going to minus 77 from both sides, and I get 143. I'm going to divide by 11, and I get that my L is 13. So when we were doing this, we were trying to find the cost of one small and one large box of oranges. So the cost of a small box of oranges is $7, while the cost of a large box of oranges is $13. And hopefully this helps you out.